Hello, our friends, Evolutionary and HAARP family.
Hello there. Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. Be subscribed to all three channels, Evolutionary. And also, if you go down farther on Evolutionary, there's links right there to EEARTS and Heart's Home. Most of the videos will go up on EEARTS, and we will send some out to Evolutionary and definitely do the spiritual upliftment at Heart's Home. As we are able to keep up with everything and also do our own thing too, because primarily we are trying to get ready like everybody else should be trying to get ready to be as self-sufficient as possible in these times. And we do want to thank you guys for your support over at Patreon. So what are we going to talk about and focus on today? Well, let's look at... might end up being Hurricane Hillary. Boy, that's a heck of a doozy of a name. Hurricane Hillary has already packed a punch in many ways. And we might have a Hurricane Hillary on its way to San Diego or maybe LA. Interesting, isn't it? Well, changing times, changing weather patterns, and this is one to keep an eye on. As you see here, Hurricane Hillary is destined for greatness once it forms, because it hasn't formed yet, and starts intensifying. GFS has 940 S central pressure and a rapid enough north-northwest track to make it to California as something impactful. Yeah, obviously, it's interesting. I mean, it's not every day you get a potential hurricane to hit Southern California, but in these times, if there's an outside chance, we should take notice.
You know, and I was looking at that one just before this one, and it was an automated. Was this just automated? I don't know what that is, but they do already saying here is to inform your loved ones and keep them updated and get them to evacuate if possible. Now, I mean that's premature, but it's curious that they put that out there already.
Yeah, it is, and, was this something that's ever happened? It doesn't happen often. It really doesn't happen often. There we go. But we can see you did have a tropical storm made landfall September 24th through 26th back in 1939 that went straight into LA. And then there have been other ones in the past. It is basically monsoon season over in the Southwest. So you do expect this. Now we're in an El Nino year. And of course, people are awakening, thankfully, to the fact that there's the natural and then there's the unnatural. And here we're looking again at scenes. You got these people wading out into the water trying to escape those flames and the smoke. And this is in Hawaii, obviously, Maui, with the disaster that is still... well, it's sort of being revealed. They are building a wall. They have a no drone law in effect. No drones. And they are building a wall that they say is a dust screen. And they're blocking people from going in and seeing the area. You had 1,000 people missing. You've lost over 100. That number is probably 10 times that. And, still people are really, really upset about this. People are, in so many ways, it feels that Maui might be, for many people, the straw that breaks the camel's back. But then again, maybe that was the intention.
You gotta wonder because they put stuff out there and they make it so obvious, and then it's more obvious, and then more obvious, and here we all are. We're awake and we're kind of jumping up and down, and we're the ones screaming at that movie saying, "Don't open that door! Don't do this! Don't!" And no one's listening. People are just going on their way, and I don't know. Was this to push people to some sort of brink? Regardless, we need to be sending good, positive energy over to these folks because they're facing some stuff that is just beyond horrific, losing your entire livelihood. I mean, people probably need medicines, they need doctors, and they needed that on a day-to-day basis. And now all okay, and they put this thing up and they call it a a dust screen? I don't know. I mean, insulting is one thing, but that's just like a double slap. Here's your insult. It's a dust screen, and you can't, by the way, you can't see through it, but that's a good thing because we don't want people seeing what's going on in there. Really? Why? And if you look at the person who is saying this at the podium, boy, talk about reading energy. I mean, he was just shrouded in darkness. I mean, he had a big cloud of darkness. It was almost like I could see the puppeteering going on. I mean, he was just going along, talking the script and saying what he was supposed to. And this is where we need to get people to please read energy and learn to do that. And if you're in a position where you can help other people and just do the right thing,
Yeah, and I wasn't going to go into all that because there's just so much. We could just spend all day talking about this one subject. We really can. And there's so many things like this right here. You look at the website for what? The Obama Foundation, Khalil Manuel. The Obama Foundation. He's the Deputy Director, State of Hawaii Commission on Water Resource Management. And, the statement here from Jeremy Kaufman is, meet M. Kaleo Manuel, the official who refused to release water in Maui, contributing to 106 deaths. Well, yeah, that number is tenfold, most likely, and maybe more. We'll never really know. And, as we're scrolling through this one, I have in another spot, but, you could see some spots totally obliterated, others perfectly fine. How does that really happen? There was one picture of one single house just standing on its own. And, you got people with big hearts that are really trying to help everybody. And then you also have people that are out there in the public eye, the celebrities that, put on a good show, but it's a show. We know it's a show. They were trying to buy up these properties beforehand. They have been buying up these properties. And, this right here shows a police officer shutting down a citizen donation center for victims of the fires. Shutting it down. People want to help. People, have hearts. And unfortunately, it's not those that are at the top. Those at the top don't have a heart. They really don't. They've traded their heart for wealth. It's just that simple. And power and ego and greed. And, here we see, this was interesting. This is published August 12th, but there's more. This weekend, the ionosphere becomes a canvas. The HAARP antenna array is being used to create a global work of transmission art. Well, this is quite a canvas that's been painted in Lahaina, obviously. HAARP to begin the largest set of experiments at its new observatory. 13 experiments to be conducted over 10 days at HAARP. And this was published on the 14th. And in effect, I was looking at this, and it's been known that there's going to be these programs running. Here you see amateur radio operators can help with HAARP experiment. This was published, it looks like, on the 3rd. More than 50 researchers, August 1st through 14th, for the resumption of a science summer school. It sounds so innocent, doesn't it? Summer school, it sounds really innocent. And here's another one talking about, now this one again is a post going back to July 8th, talking about the final composition of the Ghost in the Air Glow project. That's an interesting one. Ghost in the air. Well, there's ghosts in the air over this area right now. Absolutely. And many of them are probably extremely angry.
It's really awful. And from there it is. Here they come, plugging in. From the very, very beginning, when I saw this, I was interpreting it as the lasers that I could see were invisible. The lasers were invisible. That's the best way I could interpret it. And this stuff is coming up more and more and more. And we're really appreciating your guys' support left and right, because I tell you, just to get this information out coming from us is not easy.
No, absolutely. Here you see astonishing HAARP activity beaming from the Arctic, where it's known that the most significant HAARP technology has been embedded. This beam, this man discovered, travels directly over Hawaii, video recorded one day before Hurricane Dora formed. Yeah, again, this is the reveal. The gods of the Bible, what they're really talking about is extraterrestrials. And again, they have humans doing their dark activities for them, manning all sorts of technology that would blow our minds, and creating all sorts of disasters. And this is interesting. The title is Russian Parliament Concerned Over U.S. Plans to Develop New Weapon. This is from 8th of August. 8th of August? Think about that. 8th of August 2002. 8th of August is when it happened. This is from 8th of August 2002, this document. And it's talking all about concerns over the U.S. program to develop a qualitatively new type of weapon under the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, under HAARP. The U.S. is creating new integral geophysical weapons that may influence the near-Earth medium with high-frequency radio waves, the State Duma said in an appeal circulating on Thursday. The significance of this qualitative leap could be compared to the transition from cold steel to firearms, or from conventional weapons to nuclear weapons. This new type of weapon differs from previous types in that the near-Earth medium becomes at once an object of direct influence and its component. These conclusions were made by the Commission of the State Duma's International Affairs and Defense Committees. The statement reads, the committees reported that the U.S. is planning to test 3 facilities of this kind. One of them is located in the military testing ground in Alaska, and its full-scale tests are to begin early 2003. The second one's in Greenland, and the third one's in Norway. Well, we've seen those weird spirals in Norway, have we not? When these facilities are launched into space from Norway, Alaska, and Greenland, a closed contour will be created with truly fantastic integral potential for influencing the near-Earth medium, State Duma said. The U.S. plans to carry out large-scale scientific experiments under the HAARP program and not controlled by the global community, will create weapons capable of breaking radio communication lines and equipment installed on spaceships and rockets, provoke serious accidents in electricity networks, and in oil and gas pipelines. Wow, okay, interesting. Explosions everywhere. And have a negative impact on the mental health of people populating entire regions. Boy, there's a lot of suicides out there and a lot of people going crazy. They demanded that an international ban be put on such large-scale geophysical experiments. This appeal, signed by 90 deputies, has been sent to Putin, to the UN, and other international organizations, to the parliaments and leaders in other UN member countries, to the scientific public, and to mass media outlets. So, this was August 8th of all days of the year, 1 in 365 days, right? 21 years earlier, 2002, August 8th, 2002. Again, 21, 2 plus 1 equals 3. 3 is that divine number, looking for a little blessing on their endeavor. Well, again, wildfires don't do what we see this has done. Obviously, this is technology. By the way, Mountain Dew, Maui burst. Did you ever see that? Mountain Dew, Maui burst. Dew. And look at all this, all this space, pitch black. What's that all about? Pitch black. Well, when the grid goes out, 3 days of darkness, and as well as you better be prepared for 6 months without the grid. Maui burst, Mountain Dew. When did it become a new all-the-time flavor? Back in January 21st, 2 plus 1 equals 3 again, 2020, and that happens to be when the Plague Upon the Land came out. So again, one thing leads to another. You remember that song? What person can give me that I would say that was a one-hit wonder. I would think they had a couple of hits. But yeah, who can remember that band? One thing leads to another. Interesting. This guy was publicly testifying back in 2011 to chemtrails, gets applauded. Geoengineering, yes, this is a reality. You can't debate this. It's all declassified. Here we have a man speaking out and getting applauded, and yet here we go. Another dozen years later, 12, 1 + 2 = 3, nothing's really happened. They're still doing this, but yet more people realize this. As Jessica Rojas says, you are to blame for these wildfires caused by, quote-unquote, climate change. It doesn't have anything to do with HAARP and DARPA. Even though they admit they have dues, they use cloud seeding, can block the sun, spray us with aluminum, barium, and other toxins. We know about this. It's been declassified. It's been analyzed. What's his name? The guy that he's done so much work exposing the geoengineering.
I can't remember it all.
Oh gosh, I'm having a mental fart here, but yeah, gosh, I just got an email from him today. You guys know who we're talking about. He's been doing this for 20 years out there, talking about everything going on, more than 20 years. Even before the internet really was out in the fashion that it is. It's so obvious, but still, they make comments like, I am laser focused on, yeah, we're sure you're laser focused on Hawaii, yeah. And we got all these photos coming out. Now, the vibe that we get from this one, this is in Argentina, is that, again, this is literally some of our new technology that they're showing off. And again, the realization, just because it comes from the military doesn't mean there's not extraterrestrials. And again, what we see is that, yeah, there's a lot of the militaries of the world that work hand in hand with those cold-blooded entities that are not human.
Yep, and they don't mind either.
They don't mind. So what are we going to do? Again, we just got to land on our feet.
We got to keep going. We got to wake up and then land on our feet.
Yeah, again, we don't want to fall into what they want us to do. They want to have reasons to declare martial law, to lock us down, to put in new laws, to even have just like that other movie where it's like the algorithm says you are likely to commit a crime in 2035, so we're going to arrest you today.
I know, and someone who is just so very, very wise told me something today that it'll always stick with me, that we definitely get a lot of information, but no amount of information is ever going to bring a true solution. So just because the information's out there doesn't mean we just take that and be angry with it. It means we take that and we work with it. We got to do something. There's tons of information flying out there, but is it productive to just continually listen to it without doing something? No, we got to do something on it. First, an individual basis. You start setting yourself up so you're not as dependent, and then you go by example, and other people see you do it, and it gets catchy, and you go on and on and on.
Yeah, absolutely. And there might be tremendous anger. Sure, there is. Rightfully so, towards the people that have been in control of this, and the people meaning the Homo sapiens and others very close to Homo sapiens. That are in charge of this, and in some ways, again, there was another Antonio Gutierrez of the UN was making a statement that humans are to blame for all this. Yeah, the human leadership that carries out the will of the non-humans, that's who's to blame.
Definitely.
God bless and namaste.
Namaste.